Hello and welcome. My name is James Barry. I'm a park ranger at the New Orleans Jazz National Historical Park. Today's program is part of the Drumsville exhibit. We're going to be featuring different drummers on Wednesdays, kind of talking about the evolution of New Orleans drumming. Everyone kind of has their different take on it, so I don't know exactly what to expect today from Terrence Houston, who will be the featured artist of the day. We have different events here as well as at our visitor center over at 916 North Peters. You can check out the schedule downstairs, or you can look us up at nps.gov/jazz or nolajazzmuseum.org. So with that, please enjoy Terrence Houston, and I'll let him introduce his band.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Nice to meet y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. I'm Terrence Houston from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, not from New Orleans, you know. And I awfully get mixed up with Terrence Higgins, but I'm not him. I'm Terrence Houston. You know, so yeah, it's clear to add with that. And what else? Just a little bit about myself. Yeah, like I said, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My family had like a singing group, gospel group, called the Houston family, like my last name. So when I was born, like they set me in the car seat next to my uncle, cause he was the only one that can watch me while they was in the choir stand, like performing or whatever. So like once I got old enough, I started grabbing his sticks or whatever, beating on the drums or whatever, you know. So that's how I kind of got my start playing. They bought me my first kit when I was 4 years old. I've been playing ever since. Went to Southern University for a year. After that, I started playing professionally. Marched in the band at Southern, started playing professionally after that, moved down here, started playing on Bourbon Street. Then I got my first gig with George Porter Jr. December 11th, 2009. So I've been with George ever since. That's my main man, the main person I play with. But now I've just recently put my own band together. It's called Slugger, and I got two of the members here with me today. Noah Young on bass and Joe Johnson on keys. And we're going to open up with a tune that Joe wrote. It's going to be on our first LP, dropping in, I want to say, the 27th of March. So be on the lookout for that. And we will be playing Maple Leaf every Wednesday, starting on the 13th of March. So if y'all in town on Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock, Maple Leaf. Yeah, that was a song written by Joe. I don't know, you haven't named it yet, right? We still calling it Sunshine. Okay. Title Sunshine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a couple demonstrations of what I like to play on the kit, and a little bit of New Orleans drumming. But the New Orleans drumming, I guess, derived from like two drummers, right? Double drumming, they call it double drumming. One drummer playing the bass drum and the cymbal, and the other drummer playing the snare drum. So like, once brass bands like, they figured out, well, we can just use one drummer. that can emulate, two drummers, and we won't have to, pay two drummers. So that's kind of, the New Orleans drumming, like how it kind of, evolved on the kit. So like, and it's really just different clave. It's just like really one clave. It's like a Indian, a traditional Indian beat, which is if you hear that rhythm right there, that's like every New Orleans brass band. That's like Hey Pocket Wave. You ever hear Hey Pocket Wave? So that's like, the New Orleans drumming, so I'll demonstrate a little bit of that. That's a little bit of Hey Pocket Way. So like I'm a snare drummer like at heart. So like this is like the way like I really learned how to play the drums. Like I always played the kit, but I never really learned to play like until like I learned how to play the snare drum. Like it was like one of my teachers told me, it's like if you can play one drum, you can play like a million drums. You can play 10 drums, right? So like everything that I learned on the snare drum, I just applied it to the kit, right? So one of my favorite rudiments is the paradiddle. It's just a pattern of right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, just over and over. And I just mix it up on the kit a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So like a little demonstration of it, it would be. You know, and if you you say it with it while you playing it, paradiddle, it would be like. Yeah, it would be paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. You know what I'm saying? Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And so like if you just apply that to the kit, like you can play like a whole little hip hop beat, just like between this right here, right, left, right, right, left, right. And just if you put the kick in on 2 and 4, which is if you counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You already got a beat right there with just a paradiddle. So like if you just mix it up with like mix the kick drum up between like that, it'll be like. It's like you can make a hip hop beat just out of paradiddle, you know. So like the way I really like to mix it up on the kit is just moving it around the kit. So like I would play it in double time actually, you know, so it would sound like. You know what I'm saying? So if I move that, you know, around the kit and make a beat out of it, it would be like. You know, so it's like one of my favorite rudiments to play, you know, so like, you know, it's like, you know, I mix that up around the kit. So like whenever I'm playing an open drum solo, like that's like one of my main rudiments you'll probably hear me play. So like I'm just gonna play a little bit of an open drum solo and then we're gonna play a tune. Don't know what we're gonna play yet, but I'll decide. Yeah, that's a song entitled Necessary Evil. Um, yeah, it's written by our bandmate Max Bernstein. We call him Steen. But he's the guitar player in the band. So if you come to Maple Leaf on Wednesday night, March 13th, you get a chance to hear the whole band. And I think all of the rest of the original music, plus a couple covers that, we do, like, we put our own spin on, so it'll be a dope experience and dope. And, I always bring dancing shoes when you come to hear me play, so I never want, people sitting down while I'm playing, so it makes me feel like I'm not doing my job, unless it's like a day like today where, I'm demonstrating and, showing you what I do. But yeah. Any questions? Okay. I start. That would be like a real thing that I would have to show you better than I could explain you. But I have like this note in my head, like well of each tone, each tom that I want it to be, and it's like, and I go from each tom it would be intervals, right? But the way I would tune the drum, I would start with it dead, like each screw like finger tight, and then I would go across, like I'm tightening a tire lug. Say like. Say like this drum right here. I would go across. I would start from like across and then go in the star pattern, like I'm doing tires, like I'm like changing the tire. So like I would go from here. It would be like 1, 2, and then like star pattern. This would be 3. That would be 4, and then it would be 5. Just like I'm changing a tire lug. So that's how I would tension the drum, tension the drum like just like a half a turn each screw as I go to get the desired note or desired tone that I'm looking for. Yeah, it's personal. Tuning is always personal. Like, yeah. So like even each drummer hears everything different. Like each person hears music different. So drumming and like tuning is totally personal. It's like when the drummer goes into the studio and the engineer is like, tune the drums like this, tune the drums like this. It's like, no, you're capturing this drummer, this artist in his element. You're capturing his sound. It's like the drummer is not there to make the engineer's job easier. You know what I'm saying? So like, each tuning is totally personal. It's like I say, I hear this note in my head of what each drum should sound like. You know what I'm saying? So like, and it's like it's my sound. It's like down to the cymbals that I choose to play. It's my sound. So like, that's why I'm like every drummer is like, nah, you can't play my kit. It's like me personally. If I'm on the show and it's like the opening drummer wants to play my kit, I'm like, nah, because it's my sound. Like, I don't want you to get on my drums trying to sound like me, because I put a lot of time into my sound. You know what I'm saying? So, I think she had a question. Like I was mostly like self-taught, and shout out to my grandmoms. Like so, like after they bought me my kit, like I stayed with my grandma. She used to watch me and babysit me. So like she didn't care like how much noise I made. Like she really didn't care. Like she just throw me up in the attic. And used to, I guess that's why I sweat so much to the day, till this day, because I'm used to like playing where it's hot, and I used to just play like for hours. I had me like a little tape recorder and had headphones plugged up to it, and I would play to my favorite songs and stuff like that. And I started playing in church when I was like 5. Like I would be sitting by the drums. I've been sitting by the drums in church, but like as a kid, like you hoping the drummer be late. You're like, man, I hope he late today so I can play like praise and worship. At 5 years old. And then, like, by the time I was 7, that's when I got my first check. I was like, so I got my first check playing the drums when I was 7 years old. So, like, my mom's, like, she never really cared. Like, she always, like, my gift is going to make room for me. So, like, she always supported me. And my grandfather always supported me, too. Always took me to gigs and check out different bands, different concerts and stuff like that. It was like, so I was always influenced by, like, so many musicians. I wouldn't just say just drummers, you know what I'm saying? So like I learned what to do from the good drummers and what not to do from the bad drummers. So like, and what else? Just being just observing, just learning. Like I would tell everybody, like listening is a part of practicing. Like the more you listen and the more you absorb like, whatever it is that you're into, the more it's gonna translate into your playing. You know what I'm saying? Because what they say, you are what you eat. That's very true. Like as a musician, what you take in is what you put out. So like if you take in a bunch of positive energy, it's like if the crowd is feeding you a bunch of positive energy, a bunch of energy, it's easy for you to give it back, because it just rotates like that, because it's just the way it is in life, I guess. Well, any more questions?
Who were some of those musicians that were favorites of yours
Okay, so all-time favorites would be like, my uncle. His name is Terrence Houston. He passed like 2 years ago, and second favorite musician, he played the drums. So like that's like my main influence. And my second main influence was my uncle, Cecil Houston. He played the keys. He passed like a year and a half ago. So, but shout out to both my uncles, for giving me the game. But like those are two of my main influences. And then it was a bunch of musicians around Baton Rouge that influenced me. And then like once I started like checking out like real like drummers that were like known like internationally, cats like Dennis Chambers, Vinnie Caliuta, Dave Weckl, like Joe Porcaro, like cats like that, like drummers that you were able to like buy like the VHS back in like the early 90s. And like I would just watch like those VHS tapes like over and over and over. I'm talking about like the whole thing. Like some cats would fast forward through like the part where the drummer sits down and talk and like do all that, but I watched the whole thing over and over and over, and like each tape, like so it was. And then what they had like YouTube. Once YouTube came, it's like that was another way for like the young drummers to like to get access to like everything. Like so it's no excuse for like the young drummers. It's like free. All you have to do is have Wi-Fi and the phone. Back then, those VHS tapes were like $60. You know what I'm saying? So like for your moms to be like spending like $50-$60 at a drum store on the VHS tapes, that was real, like for real. That was dedication. Any more questions?
Well, sometimes when you hear a brass band or second line rhythm, you hear a lot of accents that sound like they're just kind of thrown in.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any real pattern to that.
Yeah, so it's called the Big Four. So and to me it's like they count in cut time, because regular time would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But they count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So they call it the Big Four. You know what I'm saying? So like that's where the accent is mainly like placed, like when you're playing like the brass band music. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and put like a little flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's like the main accent that's placed in the brass band music. So they call it the Big Four. I'm from Baton Rouge, so I had to learn all of this like once I started playing the music, and because like the culture in Baton Rouge is totally different. It's nothing like New Orleans. Okay, so interesting story, right? So like, while I was in college, I was majoring in music performance, right? And my applied teacher was Herman Jackson, which is what's American Idol? The other cat, Randy Jackson, which is Randy Jackson's brother, right? So like, I'm going to class like 3 times a week. And he's just drilling me. It's like, just drilling me. every day. Every time I come, it's like he asks me questions like he knows the answer to, but I leave class thinking every day. Like one of the main questions that he asked me was, why are you majoring in music performance? I was like, I don't know, I'm just trying to get a piece of paper. You know, he was like, you've been performing since you was a kid. You're already a professional at that, so you should be getting out working right now. He's like, you shouldn't be in college majoring in music performance. If you're gonna go to school, you should be going to school to be an engineer or to learn how to program computers or something like that. Like, but as far as music performance, is like, you're already a professional. And then I would come back to class the next week. So he'd be like, where you played at this weekend? I say, church. He'll look at me and shake his head. It's like, he would tell me, like, no one would know that you're able to play unless you let them know that you're able to play. So you have to get out and whatever it takes to let people know you got, even like in my situation, I had to drive to New Orleans and come sit in with bands and let people know who I was. I'm Terrence Houston, I play the drums, and you know, before I knew it, I had a gig on Bourbon Street playing 5 nights a week. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was kind of like how I became a professional musician. Any more questions? Huh? My favorite computer class? Oh no. I left class like frustrated a lot, and I was like, all right, I need to go play. So like, you know, I dropped out after a year. You know, I didn't come back to march in the band or nothing. Like my family and everything was like, what are you doing? I was like, I want to play. And the only person that didn't give me anything was my mom's. Like everybody else was like, man, you need to stay in school. You need to do this. You need to get a job. You need drums always will be there. It's just something to fall back on. I'm like, no, drums is not nothing to fall back on. This is what I do. This is my life. All right, we're gonna do a cover entitled "Spain." That's Herbie Hancock, right?
No, okay. Let's do the Herbie. Let's do the Herbie
Actual proof. Well, Spain is Chick Corea then, right? Yeah. So you gonna do actual proof? Okay, we're gonna do actual proof. Cool. This is not an easy tune. So like, if you hear anybody play this, like, you know they some real jazz heads or some real cats. Yeah. I would like to thank all y'all for coming out. Wherever you came from, I appreciate that. You know, whether you're from here or from that. Well, like, what some of y'all from? Like, are y'all from here? Ohio, New York, London. Oh yes, New York. Nice. Africa. Nice. Long way. Hopefully soon. I just left there in November actually. I forgot the venue I played, but yeah, I was just there with George. The main artist I play with is George Porter Jr. You can look him up on GeorgePorterJr.com. He's the bass player for the Meters, legendary funk group from New Orleans. They just won 50-year Grammy Achievement Award from the Grammys. What else? I play with my band, of course, Slugger. You can catch me with another band. It's called Toubab Crew, Toubab. The meanings is not from the continent of Africa, so we're all in this room. If you're not from Africa, except for my man right here. We're all Toubab, right, my man? Yeah, so we're all Toubab Crew, you know, so that's another band I play with. Spelled Krewe, adopted the like the crew spelling of the New Orleans crews, like the social and pleasure clubs. What else? And Yes, I play with George every Monday night at Maple Leaf. You can catch us this Friday at I think 4 o'clock at the NOLA Brewery. We're playing 10-year anniversary of the NOLA Brewery, and then Saturday night the Crew de Vue ball after the Crew de Vue parade. I think that's gonna be at the Civic. So those are the two gigs you can catch me at this weekend with George Porter Jr. Like I said, every Wednesday in March, starting on the 13th with Slugger at Maple Leaf. Thank you guys so much. Once again, we got Joe Johnson on keys and Noah Young on bass. And I have these T-shirts that me and my man Joe is wearing. I have them for sale for $20 if you want to pick up one. Just come see me right quick.